Good evening, and welcome to the Great James Madison High School Design Teams meeting. I'd like, first of all, to welcome all who are present today with us, and I'm happy that you all are part of this new renovation and additions that are coming on. Is Mr. Henry on at this time?
Principal Willard, yes, I am. I also want to extend my thank you to all the folks that have been a part of this process and are on the call.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, you may speak now.
Thank you, Principal Willard. I just want to echo your sentiments and thank everyone that's been working on this process and those that are on the call. Looking forward to hearing more about the progress of the Great James Madison High School. Thank you for inviting me.
And at this time, I'm going to turn. Okay. At this time, I'm going to turn it. Jackie, we're getting feedback. Okay. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Brent. Brent with Jacobs and Associates. It's your time.
Okay, thank you, Principal Willard. Privileged to make this presentation tonight to everybody, and it's been a pleasure to work with Principal Willard and her staff. So let us jump into additions and renovations on James Madison High School. And now the page is not moving. There we go. Okay, this is a site plan of the overall campus. And one of the first things that we're looking at doing along the front is to build some new retaining walls. The original 105-year-old retaining walls are starting to bow out pretty badly. Do some drainage improvements across the front to help the longevity of the project. And then here in the back, talking about an addition of a new competition gym and locker room area. That's close enough, you see, to this existing track and field that as part of this project, we're going to be really rebuilding the track and rebuilding the field and the irrigation system associated there. Up on the northeast side of the campus, we're going to take one of the two tennis courts out and build a new parking lot, and then rebuild the existing tennis courts into two tennis courts next to each other. This is a rendering of the front of the school showing the new retaining walls on both ends, bringing into play a little bit more the historic significance of these retaining walls. They used to have balustrades along the sides, and then there's going to be some drainage systems along here to drain the water out through those walls. Additionally, we're going to go in and we're going to clean this masonry up, particularly the cast stone that has darkened over the years. You can see these dark bands, and replace the sealants around the windows, and there's some gaps between the existing foundation here and the wall that we're going to seal up to prevent water from infiltrating. Of course, it's noted here that whatever we do has to work with the Landmark Commission, the historical preservation group in Dallas, because of the history of the Great James Madison. This is a plan of the existing campus with some colors here indicating where we're going to renovate the band hall, renovate some locker rooms, support facilities being film rooms, training rooms, coaches' offices that'll get rebuilt, build a new laundry room, and then down here at the bottom is a floor that has caved in that we're going to fix back up. And then on the second floor, the existing auxiliary gym is going to be converted into a weight room. And then there's a little bit of space on the one end that will convert to locker rooms. Once again, another another laundry, and then this is actually the second level, but it's also the entry level for people entering the building after school starts in the morning, and we're going to develop a secured entry at this point. This is an image of what the corridors would look like back in the athletics area to get add a little school spirit, and what the floors would look like. This is a rendering of the band hall. And then this is the existing large gym and repainting scheme for the inside of that large gym. This, if you remember, the addition that was going to be put on the back is a blow up of that addition, showing the competition gym here in the center. Everything that you see in yellow are new locker rooms or rebuilt locker rooms. Blue is laundry. Green are the support facilities, so two coaches' offices down here. And in red here is a new training room in the center that will be accessible by all the athletes. One of the important factors with this competition gym is it will also act as a storm shelter for all the students on the campus. Then second floor, since we were taking the weight room off, we're actually demolishing the existing weight room and girls' locker room. We'll be developing a new girls' locker room that'll tie into the existing large gymnasium that will be have a direct access from the locker room into that gymnasium. New women's coach's office right here so they can watch the entrance to the gym. Laundry room across the way. And then here in purple is the weight room on the old gym. We'll take that gym floor up and it'll get replaced with a rubberized gym floor for the weights. And this is a rendering of what the competition gym would look like in the back. Kind of plays off of the green and gold colors for the school and the curves on a basketball. And this is the entry lobby on the left end, and down here on the right end is the football locker room. And this is an image of what the entrance into the lobby would look like in the new track. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Brent. One of the problems that we were having, there was a double conversation going on. And so I don't know if all the our guests heard everything that was saying, but you were saying without it trashing on top of each other. So if they have any questions, then at this time, okay, at that time, it just started talking over me. So we have one question, and the question is, what is the construction timeline and schedule? Okay, someone has to unmute themselves.
Okay, sorry.
Good evening, this is Jeff Wold with the Construction Services. I'm the design manager on the project. And we're completing this design at this time and going through some of the city reviews. This happens to be a historic building, and so we're going through landmarks review and other planning and zoning issues. Once we've completed with that, we have approximately a 14-month construction period for this project, which will include the competition gym, as Brent has shown you, as well as the interior renovations. And so we are also seeing some questions regarding precautions and safety things. We're also meeting with the principal and staff regarding the phasing of this work to make sure that the construction activities are safe for the staff and students at all times. And so we're in the process of actually developing that phasing plan, and we'll have more information in the near future on that aspect. There's another additional question which is related to the safety of both the staff, students, and contractors, and that is regarding the COVID event and the ongoing developments of COVID. We have a safety department, both for construction services as well as for the district at large for all operations, and we have sought their advice in all of these activities on how we can make sure that we meet all the COVID precautions throughout the project. So I'll just go through a couple of the button points, but the contractors and staff and students will always be separated just for basic safety, but there's also precautions that will be taken by the individual parties, by the contractors. They'll be following protocols that meet both safety standards, which will include updated COVID precautions. And that will be on an ongoing basis, as everyone can understand. Since mid-March to this date, as well as August, they're going through quite a change. That's also true for the occupants, which is the staff and students. And so we're going to meld these together and make sure that we have joint communication weekly with the principal and the contractor and the design team. And so that will be monitored and adjusted as needed throughout the duration of the project.
Okay, one of the questions here, will the students be displaced during the construction? And I can answer that. Yes, they will be, but we will be moving them in phases. So all our students will be safe, and I will have a plan, and I will share that with my community, with my SBDM, and you will see exactly how we're going to. Okay. All right. Another question was, could we repeat the presentation because of all of your conversation is talking on top of each other. So I'm going to ask, is there any way where we can cut something off where they can only hear us talking with this presentation? Audio. Okay. Brett, we're going to ask you to please start your presentation over. And if we hear double sounds, I'm going to send you a text and say, take a breath, so that it could just, your conversation just finish out before you start something next, okay? The next sentence.
Okay, will do. The site plan of the campus, with the front entry being here at the green arrow, and our improvements up in this area, the red walls indicate some retaining walls we're going to replace, and some drainage that's associated with those retaining walls that will be installed to get water out of the ground adjacent to the building. Then, since this, and the purple area is the new competition gym and locker room area, and it's very close to the existing track. And one of the things that was requested that we flip the the runway on the track over to give us some space by the football locker rooms. The track and the field are going to be rebuilt in this area to due to the construction. Then up here in the corner of Meadow, okay, then up here at the corner of Meadow and Martin Luther King Boulevard is going to be a new parking lot constructed. And adjacent to that will be 2 tennis courts constructed in the place of an existing tennis court. And okay. This slide shows the front of the campus with new retaining walls on both ends with a little bit of wrought iron to meet the historic significance of those walls. And this is also where the drainage systems will be installed. This slide shows the front of the existing building where masonry cleaning and repair will take place, primarily here on the cast stone that's darkened over the years. And then there will be some sealants around windows and at the base of the building taking place. This slide shows the existing first floor where the band hall will get reconstructed. Existing locker rooms will be rebuilt and coaches' offices are going to be constructed, and down here in this area, reconstruction of a concrete floor. This is an image of second floor where there's going to be a laundry room over here close to the large gym. The existing auxiliary gym will become a weight room with a little bit of it converted to locker room, and then a secured entry at the front of the building for security purposes after classes are open. This is an image of the flavor of the corridors and the flooring down in the athletic area. Okay. This is an image of the band hall and the where the risers will be removed and ceilings will be put in and acoustical panels installed on the walls. And this is an image of the existing large gym with a new paint job. This is an enlarged plan of the new addition on the back of the school with everything in gold being new locker rooms or rebuilt locker rooms, laundry room, coaches' offices. The red area is the training room that all students will be able to get to. And then this is the competition gym that's also going to act as a storm shelter. Wanted to make sure we pointed out that this storm shelter is large enough to house all the students on the entire campus. This is an image of the second floor addition. Since we're tearing off the weight room in this area, this the gold area is showing where the new girls' gym, the locker room for the girls will be. The purple area is the existing auxiliary gym that'll become a weight room. Green is the girls' coach's office. And then the blue is a laundry room. Before we move on, I want to point out also that this storm shelter is not only large enough for the student staff, but also the students, but also the staff. This is an image of what the competition gym would look like from the Pennsylvania Avenue side. This is the lobby area, football locker room, and the existing building in the background. And then this is an image of what the new facility would look like as you enter the lobby. There's some seating areas out front for students to sit. And it's kind of a glass wrap around entrance, and then the new track. And that completes our presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. And sorry we have to go through it like that, but I think it was a lot better for our guests to hear. I have two questions that was asked. The first one, Mr. Henry, Trustee Henry, excuse me, would like to have would like to get this. Trustee Henry? Okay, if he comes back on, then I will allow him to speak. Another question, when we had our meeting the other day, we asked you in reference to the gymnasium, and I noticed that the goal. The girls coach's office is still inside of the weight room, still attached to the weight room. Are you all going to remove that?
Let me back up here just a second. And right in this area, you're talking about the
Yes.
girls' locker room in this area. We've figured out a way to take this locker room and bring it down here a little longer and thinner to get you a more rectilinear shape for your weight room to get it more efficient, because this little corner is pretty well unusable the way it's shown right here. So we've developed a plan that we want to work out so that we can show you and see if this will work to get everything, because everything else is right where it needs to be for the entrance to the girls or the large gym.
I see it as well.
Okay, can we have a conversation, because the way we purchased, the way we were talking about purchasing the equipment and the way the coach wanted to utilize that space, we discussed that the other day. And so I still want to see if we can get that like we requested, because it wasn't there at first.
Yeah, let us, we can look at a couple options on that and talk about what we can and can't do.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Are there any other questions?
I had a question, Ms. Willard. I didn't post it in the chat, but I had a question about, I see in the front of the building where those retaining walls are gonna be placed. Is there gonna be anything done about the damage that has been done to those rooms where moisture and leakage has went in and destroyed those two rooms on the front side of the building? On that first floor?
Yeah, you're talking about this end of the building.
Yes.
Yes, yes. To answer your question, we are putting the French drain across here and a moisture barrier along the entire front of the building to keep that foundation dry and get that water out of there. That's the first step. And then the second step is to rebuild that floor that's behind these windows right here. That's made that space unusable.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't think about it until we went back and looked at it, and so when you said retaining walls, it just brought it back to my attention, and so yeah, that whole classroom there in that space, and then all the way up under it's that closet that you're talking
Right.
about. Is that
And there's,
yeah.
right along here is one of those places we're going to install that sealant to keep the water from running down the wall also. There's a little elevated section that's got a room underneath that space.
Okay, okay, thank you. That was my only question.
Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We're actually, this is Jacqueline Bell. And right now, Trustee Henry is rejoining us at this particular time. So we'll wait on him to come in to make his closing remarks. And then the meeting will, Scott Lane, who is the head of bond program for the district, will be making closing remarks. So as soon as Trustee Henry is available, if you can go ahead and make your closing remarks, sir, we'd appreciate it.
Mr. Lane?
Yes, I can go ahead and speak. I'm Scott Lane. I'm the Deputy Superintendent for Operations for the Dallas School District, oversee the bond program. And first of all, I want to thank Ms. Willard for her cooperation and collaboration in making this project a reality. We're so excited. And just to give you an idea, originally in the 2015 bond allocation, there was only about $6 million dedicated for work at James Madison. And in working with the board through our long range master plan, the board actually ended up allocating close to $30 million for James Madison. So we're very appreciative of all the board members for their vision to address our aging facilities and to get them where they need to be. One thing I'm so excited about on this project is the construction of the competition gym. As everyone knows, James Madison has one of the greatest and most storied basketball programs in the state of Texas. And they're so deserving of having a competition gym that reflects their program, as well as the other support spaces that are a part of that too. So we're very excited about this program. I know every year when I go down to the fair, I pass this building, and I'm just so excited to see what it's going to look like within the next year or so. So with that, I want to thank everyone for participating and joining the conversation. As you can see, we are going to continue to make James Madison great. So with that, Ms. Willard, I don't know if you want to make any closing remarks or we'll just conclude.